What is up, everybody? Bootman here, and we are back with another Marvel Snap video. And you heard that right. I have hit Infinite. It happened. We had a week left in the season, and yeah, check it out. We are at Infinite, baby. I got my nice little card back. So I wanted to discuss what it was like reaching Infinite, some takeaways I've had from this season, to chat with all of you, whether or not you've already hit Infinite or you're still pushing to hit Infinite. There's a lot that's been on my mind this season, and I wanna kind of give you a little teaser of what I'm gonna be doing during this next season, all right? But before we get started, if you're new here, hi, my name is Chris. I also go by Bootman. If you love Marvel Snap as much as I do, and you're especially interested in the competitive aspect, testing out new decks, cards, ranking up the ladder, entering tournaments, all that fun stuff, this is the channel for you. Make sure you subscribe, ring that notification bell. We're hopefully gonna hit 8,000 subscribers by the end of March. I think we're like 400 away, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We have a lot of cool stuff. We got the Discord server down in the description below, and I do monthly giveaways for the season pass. Every single season, I give away three season passes, but you gotta be subscribed and you gotta follow me on Twitter. My Twitter is linked down below at BootmanMSTZ. All right, so let's chat a little bit. So I'll go back, I'll pull up the deck that I've been using. And yes, it is a Thanos deck, and there's a whole bunch to talk about with that. I've already had a bunch of you razzing me in the Discord server. We'll touch on that in a second. But so first off, every single season, I've hit Infinite within the first week. That's the way it's been for a lot of us, okay? Within a week, I hit Infinite. And this season has been pure hell, okay? I know it's been for a lot of you. I made, like, my last video was about, like, the stress and the psychological toll it takes on us. It's one of the reasons I haven't uploaded in the last few days. I just wanted to focus on hitting Infinite. I've been taking breaks. I've been like doing other things. I've been doing a lot just for my own like mental health and well-being just to do this, right? And today I sat down, I was at 99 and I just sat down, I dropped some ranks. I got very, very frustrated. I took another break. I came back a little bit later, boom, hit it within the hour. So anyways, one of the things I wanted to do this season, because we get a lot of questions, how many games does it take to Infinite? So I was like, oh, I'll get this little like $10 clicker on Amazon. It was actually like $8. You just click every single game. So I've been carrying this thing around with me, no joke, everywhere. If I'm on my computer, click. If I'm on my phone, click every single game. How many games does it take to get to Infinite? This season, I don't know if you can see that on the little camera. Yeah, I think it's in focus. 2,387 games. That is a lot of games. If you average about 3 minutes a piece, I don't have time to do the math right now. I probably should have done it before I started the video, but I know some of you are already typing it down in the comments below. So 2,387 games, plus I'd say plus or minus 30 or 40. There's been plenty of times where I'm like, oop, forgot to click it for the last, 3 or 4 games, click, and stuff like that, or maybe I overclick. So plus 30 or 40, but anyways, it's well over 2,000 games I've had to play to hit Infinite. So that's one of the first things. Like, it is a struggle like this season. And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of people who have hit it quick, but I guess that'll parlay into this next topic. One of the things I definitely learned about this season is, and nobody's gonna wanna talk about this, and I may get pushback on it, but I really don't care because I'm just here to be honest with you. One thing that we need to discuss is there is a lot of luck involved in this game. Okay, it's kind of like with life, right? So outside of this world, out of the Marvel Snap world, I write a lot about, psychology, human behavior, but also a lot about social issues and things like that. And one of the things I discuss quite a bit is the myth of meritocracy, okay? So there's this idea, if people just work hard, they will succeed, right? If you take 2 people and they work hard, both of them will have the same results. That's false. And to disprove that notion, think of one person in your life that works their face off and they're not making that much money, okay? So hard work does not necessarily mean the same outcomes. There is luck in life. There's what family you're born into, what neighborhood you grow up into, what chance encounters you have. There's a whole lot. And don't get me wrong, hard work is required, but it's not guaranteed for success. That's something I've definitely seen with Marvel Snap. I can't tell you, one of the most frustrating things about this season is just seeing people hit infinite with all these different decks that I've just been getting wrecked with. Just like people using the silliest decks, and I'm just getting wrecked. Like, it's insane, right? And like, I think a prime example is Galactus. I'm seeing people hit infinite with Galactus decks. I'm like, who are you playing against, right? I'm like, anytime I'm playing against someone, if they even catch a whiff of Galactus, I am screwed, right? So that is something that we all need to understand, is that all of us are playing in different pools of players. In your pool of players, people might not be as familiar with certain decks that are going around, right? Like in my pool of players, like all of them watch like every single YouTuber and Twitch streamer on earth. They're familiar with every deck. So a lot of, one of the issues is it's a lot harder to get like 8Q wins because people retreat easier. I've told you guys this a million times. This is why I'm not a major fan of meta decks, because good players are going to retreat. So I say this so some of you who are frustrated understand what's going on. Like for example, today when I was very frustrated and I took a break, RNG was just not on my side. I was tweeting about it. Like 2 or 3 games in a row, I got X Mansion that completely screwed me and helped the other person, right? Like for example, just X Mansion giving the person playing a Shuri deck a free Cosmo so they could block my Shang-Chi, right? Meanwhile, another game gave me a Cosmo right where I just put Lockjaw, like all sorts of stuff. I had a couple games where Space Throne, popped up, which was perfect for the deck that they were playing, but not great for mine. So many different things. So just understand there is an element of randomness and luck. Like none of us can control RNG, and this is where cube management and stuff comes into play, all right? The other thing that I've realized too is when it comes to the decks we're playing and using, like you really need big sample sizes. And I think that's one of the reasons I feel confident in my opinions about different decks. Like I played over 2,000 games this season. I already had some comments, people saying like, whoa, you've played more games than like I have like in the last 3 seasons, right? I've had very, very large sample sizes with a variety of decks. So I guess that leads into the next topic. So 2 of the cards that I've been talking a lot of smack about is Lockjaw and Thanos. Like I was on a kick one week just going off about Lockjaw, right? I've been discussing how Thanos is overrated. So I have a couple videos coming out. One thing that I will say is that, I just mentioned this on Twitter, creators, but also you, the viewers, we need to do a better job of getting better content out there. And what I mean by that is not just these hype videos of, this is the best, most powerful deck, look how it wins. That's not helping you at all, okay? Those are the videos that people click on, and it's a supply and demand thing, right? Like everybody's clicking on them, so us creators are gonna create those videos, but they aren't helping. So the more you click, the more we make them, but they're not helping. If you're only seeing highlight decks, you're never gonna learn what goes wrong. So if you're trying to rank up the ladder, you're gonna jump into a deck and see everything that goes wrong. Wouldn't you rather see creators show you videos of things that can go wrong or make videos on that, right? So what I recommend to all of you is if you see any creator making videos like that, click it, like it, share it. That tells the algorithm, oh, these videos should go out more. Because if you're just watching highlight videos, it is not gonna help you as a player at all. That is something I've been very, very frustrated with this deck in particular. There's so many just highlight decks, and I'm sitting there with my jaw on the floor. I'm like, you're showing the most optimal scenarios, right? Like turn 1 Quinjet, or like turn 1 Time Stone, and you could drop Lockjaw on turn 2, and then you have Quinjet, and you're just dropping 0 stones. What about when your starting hand is She-Hulk, Thanos, Magneto, and Devil Dinosaur, and then the next turn you get Sunspot, and the turn after that you get Blue Marvel? You know what I mean? Just like nothing is synergizing or working together. Where are those videos? And I do plan on making a lot of videos like that next month, because I do have the luxury of working a full-time job during the day, so I don't have to have YouTube money, but we need more videos like that. But I have been sold a little bit on these. It does take a lot of practice. You do need to know the probabilities and stuff, but I will tell you, my last 10 ranks, somebody I was talking to reminded me of how conservatively I had to play. I did not snap at all. I did not snap back at all, like at all. That is something that I do the last 10 ranks, and I forgot about that because the season's just twisted my head up so much. So I've watched a lot of people where they're like, oh, I got lockjaw in hand and, Quinjet, so I'm gonna go snap, right? I've had plenty of games where I have that and then I don't draw any stones, so the lockjaw and quinjet don't really do anything because then I'm tossing a sunspot, or there's been plenty of games where I've had to just randomly toss Shang-Chi into a lockjaw, and since all your stones are in your deck, it pulls it out. You know what I mean? So we need a wider range of games being showcased in decks. That's why I always try to teach all of you, do not just watch YouTube videos, go watch streams, watch entire streams. I cannot tell you, and I'm not gonna name names, but I've seen so many creators just make these are the best deck ever videos. I go watch their streams, and while they're playing the deck, they are pulling their hair out. But if you only watch their YouTube videos, you would just think that they're just playing these like unbeatable decks. I'm telling you guys, it is a disservice to all of us involved. Like, we need to appreciate the losses in this game, okay? Like, it's this, we're like encouraging like this kind of like survivorship bias where we're just fueling it, where we're not seeing all of the bad scenarios or all the other things that didn't happen against these decks, all right? So one of the other things that I realize is that, especially with this many games, is I need to experiment more with decks. Like, with this many games played, like I was so afraid to try other decks. I was so afraid. I was like, oh my God, I need to hit infinite. I just need to use the best decks. But with this many games played, I had plenty of opportunities to try different decks. There was one point, especially when I realized how much I don't need to snap, was like I was trying to snap and it wasn't working out very well. And I realized, I'm like, wait, during this period of time when I tried to aggressively snap on good hands, I played 200 games. I didn't really move anywhere, right? And the way my brain was working was saying, the season is about to end, so you have to get into an aggressive snap mode. But then I realized, like, wait, Chris, you were at rank 93, you played 200 games, you ended up where you started. If you just win one, if you were winning 1 cube on average per game, you would have hit infinite by now. You see what I mean? And this is something I've always preached, but this season, my head has been so messed up. I forgot to even talk to you guys about it, remind myself about it. So feel free to be conservative with your snaps, try different decks. Like, in the long run, with this gigantic sample size, if you're playing as many games as me, like, testing things out isn't gonna matter all that much, all right? But just a couple more things. One of the last things that I learned, and I will make a whole video about this. I have a couple videos coming up, but one of them is ask others for tips. So many of you know this because I've mentioned it plenty of times. I'm a recovering drug addict. And alcoholic. I got sober 10 years ago in 2012, okay? And something they taught me was, find other people who are where you wanna be and have them teach you, right? Ask for tips. So what I've been doing lately, since so many people are hitting infinite with Galactic, or with Thanos and Galactus, I've been asking for tips. Whenever I've seen somebody on Twitter talking about how they've reached infinite, I'm asking questions. I'm like, what tips do you have? What tips do you have? I have one subscriber named Benny. He's from Ukraine and just awesome dude. I'll go over it in a future video. The dude sent me like just this long of a Twitter message. Like, I am so grateful. He provided me some of the best advice, and he took the time out of his day to just give me tips. And I read it and I memorized it, and it really helped me hit infinite. But I also asked Pulse Glazer. He's in our Discord server. He is one of the hosts of the Snap Judgments podcast. By the way, listen to their podcast and follow them on Twitter, okay? Snap Judgments podcast. Also my co-host Brad Siffer, I have a video coming out where he coached me on the Thanos deck, but humble yourself and ask people questions, especially with what we're talking about, how there are so many YouTube videos only showing you highlight reels, right? Ask people for tips. If they are using a deck you wanna use and they're seeing success and you're not, ask them for tips. Trust me, this deck helped me reach infinite, but, and it's hard to say, I do think there are other comparable decks, right? I do think this is a top 5, top 3 deck, you know what I mean? But I do think other decks could do the job. Like just based on the randomness I've seen with this deck, the bad hands, the times I've had to retreat, you know what I mean? There are a slew of decks that are working well right now. So just ask people questions. The Marvel Snap community, as much as we whine and complain and stuff like that, there are a lot of very good, cool, helpful people. Our Discord is a great place. Go in there, talk to people, ask questions. On Twitter, people are super cool. Whenever I see people posting decks, if I'm looking at a deck, I'm like, how does that work, right? I'll just reply to it. I'll be like, hey, what's the ideal scenario look like with this? How does this deck work? Why do you have this card in there? You see what I mean? And they'll lay out scenarios of why that card works. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. You know, so don't be afraid to ask for tips. But yeah, that was one of the last things I wanted to discuss with this. So it was a long, hard season. So as far as next season goes, I'm letting you all know right now, I am, as of right now, okay, I am taking the season off from trying to hit infinite. Like, I'm not doing it again. So going back to my recovery and my sobriety, my mental health is one of the most, it's not one of the most, it is the most important thing in my entire life. It's what helps me stay sober and sane and be a good father, be a good boyfriend, be a good YouTuber, you know what I mean? And this season messed my head up. So I am taking the season off from trying to reach infinite, and I think it's gonna help me make more content. I was afraid to try different decks. A lot of you want more Series 3 decks and, Series 4 and 5 decks and stuff like that. I will do videos experimenting and trying them, but it's like, I'm afraid to because I'm so focused on reaching infinite. So this next season, I'm taking it off, and that's as of right now. Okay, that might change. Like my girlfriend's like, there's no way you're gonna do that, right? I'm a very competitive person. I don't know if my brain will let me do that. So right now, I am taking the season off. But just real quick, little side rant. Like, you can't call someone a liar if they update their opinion, right? Lying means intentionally misleading somebody. So that would be me saying I'm taking next season off and then just going fully hard, right? Like, if my brain changes, my mind changes in a few weeks, completely different from lying, all right? So just want to get that out there because I see a lot of people say, oh, you lied about this thing in the past. Like, would you say when I was a kid, like if I told you my favorite food and then it changed, like that I was a liar? No, my freaking opinion changed. Anyways, that's a whole different rant. So feel free to join me in taking this next season off. If this season has been hell, it's been a nightmare for you. Right now, the meta is very screwed up. Jeff Hoagland just made an excellent video on it. And yeah, so like, feel free to take the season off with me, not push so hard. I almost have a feeling that just messing around this next season is gonna help me infinite anyways, just because I'm not taking it so seriously. But yeah, I'm getting Kang tomorrow, so you're gonna see some videos on that, whether you like it or not, because it's just gonna, like that card, I don't think it's gonna be great. I think it's just gonna be hilarious, okay? It's gonna be like a new like Wong into Hazmat or Wong into like Gambit, just one of those annoying, stupid things that you could do. I don't know if it'll be meta defining, but like, it'll be fun to try out. But I wanna test out new cards. I wanna test out new decks. I wanna go research different decks. But like I said, most of all, I'm gonna be bringing you videos of what decks I don't think are that good, right? I wanna show you the losses. I wanna show you the worst case scenarios. So I have a bunch of new content planned, and I think not being so dead set on reaching infinite is going to take a lot of weight off my shoulders and free me up to make some sick, dope content. So to wrap this thing up, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. But if you're new, make sure you subscribe, baby. We're coming at you with a ton of new content, all right, this coming month. And we're doing giveaways, and we got an awesome Discord server. So subscribe, ring that notification bell, help us hit 8,000 subscribers by the end of March. We only need 400 more. So you right there, I'm talking to you. You could be one of those 400 people to help us reach that goal, all right? And I'll provide you with some amazing content. I have a bunch of cool stuff planned out, and you don't wanna miss it, all right? And also make sure you're following me on Twitter at BootmanMSTZ. I like to tweet a lot. I like to chat with you guys a lot. Like I said, I love getting deck ideas from all of you. I love asking you about them. And it's how you enter the monthly giveaway, is that you're following me on Twitter, all right? But you also gotta be subscribed. Anyways, if you need support for the rest of the season. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I haven't been great at checking the comments lately, so feel free to ping me on Twitter or on Discord. I check those things a lot too. But yeah, have an amazing rest of your day. I'll be back tomorrow with a new video, so hang tight. See you soon.